Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Talon. And tonight, we reflect on a hero whose life was taken far too soon.
No, you have a small child fall into this cage.
Papelbon.
He was trying to save the child. The
Papelbon.
mother just let him wander in there. And
Papelbon.
I think it's extremely important that we remember him.
I remember touring the Himalayas as a college student, and we met there. It was hot and it was sweaty, and we bonded. We had memories that I will not speak of on camera.
Hey, Scott, what's the name of this show again?
Oh my! What a slam!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Talon. My name is Arthur Balin. Alongside me is Steve McAlee and Casey Haig, and we're going to talk about several exciting things that are happening in the world of sports. So let's not waste one more second. Let's get right to it. Steve, BC football has a big game coming up against Clemson Friday night. What are your thoughts on how the teams are going to do?
Arthur, I'm feeling good. One number stands out to me this past week. I don't care what you want to say about Buffalo or their prowess as a team or an offense. BC allowed 67 total yards for the whole game. That's an FBS school right there. That's impressive. This front seven is special. And the secondary played well against receivers that are several steps slower, but they played well. This game is going to be had in the secondary on both sides. BC will not win if they can't pass the ball and defeat some of the best cornerbacks in the country that Clemson has.
Now, Steve, are you concerned at all about, BC played these two games against Wagner, against Buffalo. They might be half the speed Clemson's going to be running their offense. Are you afraid there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment?
No, because in the early part of the season, we have teams playing Marshall and Mercer. I mean, if that was the case every game, then teams would be losing 95-90. So no, I'm not concerned about that. I think BC has needed to use these last 2 weeks to really kind of get their confidence back up. The Virginia Tech game was a mess. There's no doubt about that. But this game's been circled on the calendar for months. I think the team is ready. It's going to be on the road for Clemson, which is never fun. This is an important conference game. It's one they got to have. I mean, you got to get through it somehow. This defense is playing really good, and I think they're excited. They're trying to show the world that they are a special defense, and it's not simply, oh, we're just good numbers and our record stinks. I think this is a game to prove something. On ESPN, as I said, the game will be had in the secondary, and if the secondary of BC is up to the challenge of Deshaun Watson, arguably the best player in the country, this could be a game late in the fourth quarter.
Now, Casey, what are your thoughts on the game?
Well, I think the fact that it is the Service Day Wells Crowther memory, I think it's really important that BC gets out flying, and they start out with a very strong offense. And the fact that last year they went into Clemson, put up the first 7 points of the game, and it was a great start to the game. Of course, that was Jeff Smith's first start ever as a quarterback, and it was very important for BC to maintain pressure on Clemson. Of course, their defense played extremely well. They did end up losing 34-17, so it was a tough one going down to the end there. Of course, Death Valley is somewhere no one in college football wants to play, but having it under the lights in Alumni Stadium Friday night, it's going to be packed. It should be an exciting game, and I think BC's going to have that on their side. The fact they played Florida State in a similar situation last year, only lost 14-0. I think BC has the offense ready to go, and like Steve mentioned, Wagner Buffalo games are getting the offense going. I think this upcoming Friday is going to be an exciting one.
Baseball is starting its playoffs tonight. The Orioles and the Blue Jays are facing off tonight. Tomorrow, the Mets and the Giants, and then the greatest time of the year, the NLDS starts, and then the ALDS, and then we'll eventually progress to the World Series. What are you guys expecting?
Well, Casey, you'll probably second me on this one, but I do really like the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox are playing great. It reminds me a lot of Ray Lewis's final season with the Baltimore Ravens. You have such a polarizing player in Ray Lewis, and we're likening him to David Ortiz. They have a lot of spirit going with them this year. I think they're full at almost every position. Top of the rotation is really strong, and I do think that David Ortiz is going to have a great playoffs and really lead the team. So I like them a lot. The AL East has been great this year. They've been strengthened through their competition. I mean, Arthur, as you said, both the Orioles and Blue Jays are playing in the play-in game. So I think the Red Sox are ready to go. In terms of the NL, really, I'm never going to doubt the Giants, and they're also playing in the play-in game. But if I had to give a team, I like the Red Sox. I like their depth, and I like what they have going with team chemistry.
Steve, you read my mind. The Red Sox this season had a fantastic time with the outgoing of David Ortiz. Wonderful ceremony they had this past Sunday. Of course, they would have liked to get the win to secure that home advantage for the first round in the ALDS. But with Rick Porcello on the mound, he went 22-4 this year, a .315 earned run average. Is a Cy Young candidate, no doubt. And the fact that he will be going up against an Indians lineup, which, granted, does have guys like Mike Napoli, who can certainly smash the ball. We know that the Red Sox have had a fantastic lineup all season long. David Price will be going in Game 2 for the Sox. And I think going up against old friend Terry Francona, he's trying to end the Indians' drought, and we know Cleveland did it earlier this year. So it'll be fun to see if they have any chance against doing it. I do pick the Sox to win and go to the World Series. I think it's going to be Red Sox-Cubs. That's what I'm going to make my bold prediction right now, but I don't even know if the Cubs are a bold prediction. I think the Cubs played so well. They were the earliest team to clinch the division before anyone had even gotten a playoff spot. So it was a good start. I know, Arthur, you may talk about the Mets for a moment. I'd actually like to hear your opinion on that, but I think it's going to be a great baseball playoffs. I'm really looking forward to it.
I mean, I think the Mets definitely are an interesting story, to be sure. The fact that with so many injuries, they were able to kind of pull things together and make the postseason is simply remarkable, and a testament to the leadership of Terry Collins and the management of Sandy Alderson. They've got a big game against the Giants on Wednesday. It's certainly not going to be an easy game. Madison Bumgarner is one of the nation's best pitchers. But you got to like Noah Syndergaard on the mound for the Mets, and who knows? We might be talking about Mets Cubs next week. But with that, we are going to wrap things up. For Casey Haig and Steve Mackley, I'm Arthur Balin. Have a good night.